but you can find it next time. So I went up to 4 times for us to get that. But a lot of Kenyans don't have that slip. So it means your name must be found in 3 places. Number 1 is the voters register. Number 2 is the biometric system. And number 3 is the green book.
Since you were there when she was registering as a voter. I'm not sorry. When
she was being cleared.
When she was being cleared.
Yes.
Did she appear there and her name was so seen in a big register?
What happened was because they came up with all their documents. They came up with their computers. So they searched her name in the computers and they didn't see it there.
It was not there.
It was not there. But remember one time Raila Odinga went to vote in Kibera and his name was missing. You did not expect a presidential candidate not to have registered as a voter and to have been cleared first of all to run. Yes. And then come the voting day, his name is missing. So but
it was found eventually.
After some violence and some stone throwing, strangely the name came back.
And this of Keith Kilonzo now, what is the problem?
Now, you see, IBC now looked at our slip. And they looked at their own documents. The honors is with them. It is IBC now to produce. So we asked them to produce a green book. And then the returning officer sent one of his officers to go to Nairobi and look for the green book. But he said he was satisfied that she's a registered voter. He cleared her and gave her a certificate.
Using what document?
Using he said
that slip.
He said that slip was IBC slip.
It was an IBC slip.
He said this is our own document. He himself, under the law, the returning officer is the one with the final authority on that. Not even the chairman of IBC can interfere. The only other person who can interfere now is the court. If somebody goes to court and files an election petition.
So the only document she has is that slip?
Yes.
Which, according to what we are reading in the press,
yes,
came from the same booklet that the president registered.
You know
the former President Kibaki.
Yes. Well, if that's a booklet,
that's what
IBC has many booklets.
Anyway, we'll wait until we hear this from the tribunal.
From the tribunal, yes. Yes, but that's the position. She's a registered voter.
What about Philip Kaloko? Is it that he belongs to WIPA? Up to when?
Well, he had
when he was running.
I think up to in the last election he was running for governor under WIPA ticket.
Yes.
So it means at some point he may have moved to another party.
And the law says
moved again to another party.
What does the law say?
Well, the concern of the voter who has taken him to the tribunal is that he has changed political parties within a very short time.
Is there anything wrong?
So, because I think
party hopping was allowed up to the last minute.
I think
even the last election.
It's a fundamental right, even in the Constitution, for your right of association.
Yes.
But since it is a matter before the tribunal, I think it's not good to go to the merits of the matter. As a lawyer, I know the consequences of doing that. Let the tribunal do its work, either clear or say, look, there is a serious breach here. I'm sorry, we are nullifying your certificate. Yeah. Then from there, you can know what to do. As a candidate.
But can they nullify? Can the tribunal nullify?
I think, I said, unless there is a serious breach of law.
Then why are they sitting to hear?
If there is a serious
breach, if they cannot nullify, why are they sitting?
They are functus official. The moment they cleared him, He should, whoever is complaining should now file an election petition thereafter. Because if the same IBC cleared Kaloki and was satisfied he had fulfilled all law and gave him a certificate, then they have no business sitting again to review their own judgment. I said unless there's a serious breach of law which is glaring, because there could have been a mistake.
Yeah. Just looking at Makueni politics, of course, you've been very clear and very vocal about your opposition to Governor Kivutha Kibwana's leadership style, together with 2 other members of parliament, that is Mboni, member of parliament, and Kaiti, member of parliament. What's happening?
You know, we received some concerns from the county assembly members. And you know, county assembly members are very, very important because they have their own speaker and they have their own system and they must ratify a lot of things the governor must do. he's not the only governor in trouble. You've seen several other governors in trouble. So when we came in as elected members of parliament from the county, we wanted to see the matter resolved. Because if you don't resolve the matter between a governor and county assembly members, you may never develop that county. And what is most important is that we were elected to serve the people of Makueni. So our first initiative is to make sure that the governor and his county assembly members work together. In fact, the senator, the governor, the MPs, every elected leader in that area must work together if you have to realize any meaningful development. And it's not only just for Governor Kivutha, who is a man I respect and was our lecturer at the University of Nairobi. He's got a very good mind, but seemingly seems to be surrounded by a lot of people who may not wish him well, though they are working with him there, or who may want to take advantage of him to enrich themselves. Therefore, that's how governors tend to land into trouble. But I believe whatever the matter is in Makueni, it should be resolved. If the matter is completely not resolvable by the elected leaders or any systems, then it becomes very tricky.
Can you be specific? What is this matter that is making the...
Well, there were just differences between the county assembly members and the governor. They were saying, look, like the premises. You know, the county council premises were gazetted as the assembly's premises, because you need to separate the assembly and the executive. You have to physically separate. And there are facilities in Makueni for the executive. So they wanted the executive not to be with them. Like the way we don't sit with the President Kenyatta in Parliament. Yeah, his office is not in Parliament building, because we want a separation between the two, so that the assembly can make independent decisions and the governor can make independent decisions. But at one point or another, you must agree on things like budget, so that you are able to develop the... So that was one of the main issues. And basically, you know, difference in ideologies or methodology. Like there was a sand issue, which actually needs legislation, because you see, the moment you don't have strong legislation and goodwill, even from legislation enforcers like police, so you find sand is just being stolen in Makueni at night. And the lorries, you know, they package and that. And you see, this sand is very useful in the riverbeds in terms of conserving water, because we don't have water in Makueni. Yeah. So the moment you steal the sand at night, the next day, the wells will dry and the people will have a problem. So the sand in Makueni is not helping the people in Makueni. And it's one of the things they are trying to sort out together among us. I will come in also and help them draft legislation, enforcement, and make sure that the sand is not stolen, but it is useful to the county and can bring in some money. Yeah, there are particular concerns that you raised, especially at the time you were speaking to the press. Yes. At Kativi. Yes. Yeah, you're attending the Thwake Dam Forum. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big dam we are consulting. And you said that the governor has been ignoring relevant authorities. Yes. While running the county, and his behavior has raised opposition. So basically consultation. Yes, you see, we thought the governor should consult. You see, if it is a budget issues, it is also good to ask members of parliament. We were campaigning together anyway. I say consult the members of parliament, because they have an input, and a lot of things which will affect Makueni will come to parliament anyway. So it's good when the members of parliament are in the know, because they can advise and can contribute and we can work together. But if you don't consult a member of parliament, or if you don't do certain things you should do, like you remember in the last rains, Makueni roads were washed away, and they need an emergency situation whereby you need to quickly repair some roads and link up. Some places children have to walk for 20 kilometers. And these particular areas, you know, the governor has never been there or sent some people and nothing has been done. But we understand with the budgetary issues and other things, he may not do it immediately. But you need to show some concern where it is hardly hit. You need to be there so that those people don't suffer. Because they were not electing a governor to suffer. They were electing a governor to serve them, you see. Yeah. So those were some of the concerns.
Just to be specific, because you said Kivutha is handling matters that are under the mandate of chiefs instead of dealing with issues that affect the county. How's that?
You see, like, that was in reference to the sand issues.
No.
You see, the sand issue is you need to let it come from the grassroots. You have to know, because you see, these are riparian owners. It is within the jurisdiction of the administration which is there. You need his support. If the chief and the locals don't support you on that matter, you will never get anywhere, because the sand belongs to them under the law. But you have to have a way of managing that resource so that it benefits the same people. Because the riparian owner is the owner of the sand. So you've got to have somebody working under that unit. So you cannot go and pass a decision before consulting that owner, because that person owns the sand under the law. You have to consult that person so that you work together. If you don't, as a governor, you will sit 100 kilometers away. They will send the sand. They will sell the sand at night and very cheaply, and they will not get helped. So it's a matter of consultation, actually. Yeah. If there is consultation, then everything moves on very well.
Right. There's a question here from Dave Kasioki.
Yes.
Makueni, Wote says, did Kathy vote during the recent general election? If no, no doubt she has a fake voter's card.
I think you can't answer that.
You can't really answer that, because it is, first of all, before the tribunal.
Yeah.
And secondly, IBC has already ruled on the matter that our documents are in order and cleared her. Otherwise, IBC is very powerful. If it thought the card was fake, it would not have cleared her. So IBC has bound itself, and as I said earlier, there are 3 systems you must know that somebody is registered. Many people don't have that slip, but in Kenya, but a few do have, because during the registration it was told not necessary. There are a lot of slips with a lot of errors. I saw somebody who slipped the top-notch number. You know, it's handwritten. It's not captured, and he was a candidate in these election petitions. So when he went to vote, his name was missing, and he was a candidate. We have 4 cases like that in Kenya. So our case is not absolutely unique. And as I gave an example, when the Honorable Raila Odinga went to vote and his name was missing, as a presidential candidate, surely you will not be having fake documents, and you are a presidential candidate who was cleared by the chairman of IBC itself. So it is a very serious process. And I said there are 3 places our name must be found.
You know, let's not go back to that,
yes,
because it's over. Let's go to the relationship between the National Assembly and the Senate.
Yes.
You are a lawyer in Parliament.
Yes.
The Speaker of the National Assembly has brought those bills,
yes,
which now have attracted the attention of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
What is your view about this?
First of all,
Muturi says that they have nothing to do with consultation.
Again, again, it's also a matter pending at the Supreme Court, but this will be my comment. First of all, the Constitution is very clear. The role of Parliament and the role of the Senate. The Senate takes care of the counties and takes care of devolution, because devolution is a key thing in the Constitution, and it is devolution which was really lobbied for. And therefore, the role of Senate is very distinct, what it is, and the role of Parliament it is. But the Constitution is quite interesting. You realize that in the event, in the very unlikely event, that you don't have the head of state and his deputy, then automatically the Speaker of the National Assembly takes charge of the matters of the country. Therefore, is number 3 in the pecking order.
Yeah.
And again, also the role of legislation, national legislation, is Parliament. But there are a lot of times you will have to share issues with Senate, and then you know, consult. The same thing I was saying. There have to be consultation or discussions. And in the event there is difference, then the matter is arbitrated out. They are provision to that effect. So I think part of it was politicized, but the Constitution is quite clear what Parliament must do, and the role of Parliament, and also the role of Senate. So I think the Senate must really take care of the counties. Again, also, one of the issues was the 15% which goes to the counties, and the 85% which remains with the national government. So, of course, with the time, there will be more funds devolved. Because remember, we just have a new constitution, there are teething problems, and I'm sure soon it will be smooth. Because it is the intention of every Kenyan that we take care of the county.